Why me? You mean why this has happened? In April 2000, I said to Dr. Evelyn Bamo, who was my caregiver, do you realize that I've been flying back and forth from all over the world with three things that you never looked after? I found out myself I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I found out that I had hiatus hernia. I didn't know the third thing was my heart. And I said, why did you let me go on like this in all this pain for 2 years and me telling you and you telling me it's indigestion, a muscle problem? And then I said the magic words. I didn't know she already had malpractice against her. I found in my time 2 people. One was a printer. He recognized her name and he said she almost killed his girlfriend, saying birth controls weren't causing her heart pain. And another was a cleaning lady. She said, I'm going way out of my way to see a doctor, but I'd rather go out of my way than to see the one I was seeing. And I said, was her name Dr. Bamo? She said, how did you know? So I said the magic words. Do you know how much this has cost me flying in from all over the world? And then I never thought anything more about it. I liked her. I forgot everything. And a few weeks later, I was so excited about doing my new apartment. I'm a decorator. I did a lot of the work myself and everything, but all I knew is that I seemed to be sick all the time. I'm vomiting and not feeling well, and I wasn't sleeping. And so I went to her, and this was the perfect opportunity. I said, something's wrong with me. I don't seem to be sleeping, and maybe it's because I'm excited. I'm buying light fixtures, I'm buying stoves, fridges, and everything. Do something to help me sleep and quiet me down. Something's wrong with me. And she sent me to Dr. Silver at Sunnybrook, a psychiatrist. If they could show that I'm mentally disturbed in some way, I wouldn't have a malpractice, which I never even thought of. Never thought of it at all. So she sent me there, and I said, why can't you give me a sleeping pill? She said, oh, we can't anymore. I went to Dr. Silver at Sunnybrook, a psychiatrist. I said, how come I have to go to a psychiatrist to get a sleeping pill? He said, oh, that's the way it is now. And he gave me a pill called Zoloft. First week I called him. I said, I don't even take aspirins. And I said, I think is this like a tranquilizer? And he said, yes. And I said, well, I think I'm allergic to it. I said, I seem to be dizzy. I told both of them, getting up in the morning, dizzy, falling. And he says, oh, no, this is something you have to get in the system. I said, oh, no, I don't want anything in my system. Just give me 3 a week. And he says, no, it's got to get into your system. And I thought, well, if I could maybe see him for 2 or 3 months and get the pill to have a night's sleep, maybe I'll feel better. And I said, okay. And then I took 120. Something was wrong. I'm getting worse. Now I'm vomiting. I'm nauseated all the time. Chest pain. I didn't know it was my heart. Chest pain increasing. And when I read my books, I seem to have all the symptoms of heart trouble. The fast heartbeat, the sweating. I sit up to be able to breathe. Couldn't put on my pantyhose. And everybody's denying. Taking the hospitals. And everybody's denying everything I say to them. And I quit. I went to him and I said, I told you I'm allergic to this tranquilizer. I'm not going to take another one. 5 weeks went by. It was worse. Now I'm vomiting full time. More trips to hospitals, terrible chest pains. I found I couldn't even walk anymore. I couldn't do anything. I'm telling Baymo and him something's terribly wrong with me. I'm making a joke out of this. Says, I've never been this stage before. No one at this age should have to go through it like this. And then 5 weeks went by and he called me up and he says, I've got a pill that will make you feel better. He gave me back Zoloft, doubled in strength and under the generic name. Now it's just out of it. I'm functioning, but I'm everywhere. I'm being ambulances. Then I found letters he wrote. She's talking about suicide all the time. She's letting her parents go. I was winning bridge tournaments still. I still took a trip somewhere. And all these things he's saying in these letters that I found 8 that he'd written out. They're in all my files. And I finally said to him, something's wrong here, and he put me on a pill called, he was giving me psychotic pills. The vomiting, I was having raw sewage come through me, and he put me on this Effexor, and I called him from Lawrence and Bathurst, and I said, I am so ill, I'm not going to be able to get home. It was a Tuesday. He said, come in Thursday. He said, I need to increase the pill. So I went to the drugstore. It was Heinzel's, and I said, give me the stat sheets on these tranquilizers. He says, tranquilizers? He said, you're always so cheerful. I don't know why you're on these pills. And we looked at them together, and every single symptom I had, dizziness, falling, passing out all the time, was on there. An Effexor, I had every single symptoms. If you have any of these symptoms, tell your doctor immediately. Then I found out he'd never sent me for any lab tests. I was never checked by anybody. He was giving me psychotic pills, increasing them many, many times from me. And he gave me a pill called Zyprexa. There was a class action suit in the United States against this pill, and it was won as being dangerous. And when I found 2 CAT scans saying polyps were growing inside my abdomen, I went to the Mayo Clinic in Arizona, and Dr. Kelly's there. He told me Zyprexa is dangerous. He said it loosens large muscles in your intestines. He said it's a very dangerous drug, and he says the amount of antidepressants and things, I now knew what they were. He says it's bound to have done you harm, and that was all denied. I couldn't get in touch with him again, and they removed 3 large polyps. One of them was cancerous, and it was all hidden. And the cardiologist, Mayo Clinic in Arizona, told me she taught Dr. John Parker at Mount Sinai. She denied my established heart trouble. She denied a test I found by Dr. John Parker done 2 months before, and it says consider anterior infarct, excessive, intensive anterior infarct. I didn't need it, and it was dated February the 13th, 2003. I saw her 2 months later in April. She denied that and said that I did not have heart trouble. I was traveling around in a wheelchair. I couldn't move anywhere at the Mayo Clinic. And every time I found out any of these things, I thought, I'm in my own 9/11. I'm never going to get medical care. I don't know why. And then I started putting all the dots together and all the things I kept finding, and I became the most haunted woman, as I said, in Canada's ever had. And they became haunted by what I kept finding. And then I went to the Cleveland Heart Hospital in November 2005. They immediately took me in, and they rushed me. And the girl started to do this echo. She ran out the door. The 2 doctors ran in. Please sit down. How did you get here? This is November 2005. I said, it's a wheelchair all the way. They said, your heart is so severely damaged, we don't know how you're standing there. They told me my left side was struggling, my right side wasn't working. November 2005. I never saw a cardiologist at Cleveland Heart Hospital. They refused to give me any of the tests they did, and they charged over $20,000 American for my visa and sent me home. 3 young doctors came, tearfully telling me they want to apologize to me for themselves in their hospital, and they had to discharge me. And I came home. I can't believe this. And then I went November the 24th. I'd seen Dr. Lessard on Nielsen, and I went to her.